2 minutes and 2 seconds until Arsenal pulls off the upset of the season. Man City 2, Arsenal just 1. I'm Anton. This is the Ghost of Highbury. Let's review it. What's going on, everybody? I am Anton Keith. Like I said, this is the Ghost of Highbury channel. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to 2022. This is the first video. This is January 1st. This is probably the only video that I date. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy New Year. Hope your holidays were great. Big toast to everybody that we lost in 2021. And we're going to live on in your memory and keep doing special things. So without further ado, like we said in the intro, Man City 2, Arsenal 1, very good game. I mean, in terms of performances, there's always two things you want to see. You want to see us have a good performance, right? And you want to see a victory, right? In terms of the performance, I mean, I've watched so many videos over the past like 6-7 hours, and I've seen so many people say, wow, what a performance. And I can't argue, right? But for, like I said at the top, 2 minutes, 2 seconds, we completely lost our minds. What I want to do, I don't want this video to be too long. What I want to do is do player ratings. I'm going to give my quick sort of synopsis about what I saw and what I thought, give a quick synopsis, and then get out of here because we have more videos coming up. And, if it's just me, I don't want it to be too long. Especially for a pre-recorded video. I am bringing people in. Going to have great podcasts, great content, and we will be over there doing FIFA and chill at nights. So, without further ado, let's just touch on some of the stats that we saw, and then we'll jump right into the player ratings. So, let's see. That's not what we want. We want to see. Okay, so we're not going to do that. I'm not going to share my screen because my computer's acted up, but take it from me. Okay, so you saw the game. All right. 15 shots on target to our 7. I mean, no, shots period, but shots on target were 2-2. I mean, we held Man City to no shots on target in that first half. I mean, that first half, I mean, it was just unbelievable. It was what we wanted, what we would have wished for, what we would have burned incense for, what we would have prayed for, prior to the game. We actually saw it. And it was almost, and I don't know how you felt about this. It seemed like it was one of those things where it was almost too good to be true. That's exactly how I felt. I mean, I was so impressed. Every person to a man did their things. I mean, I saw top tier Atletico Madrid, Thomas Partey. I saw Saka doing his thing, an amazing goal. I saw Martinelli putting one of the best fullbacks in the world. I mean, just sending him for a hot dog several times. I mean, I saw Granit Xhaka not making mistakes, making quick passes, playing more advanced and not looking out of place. I saw Kieran Tierney picking his spots, bombing down the left-hand side, putting a good cross in for an assist. I saw Tomiyasu take on, the England starting one of the England starting wingers and make him sort of non-existent and play tough, win headers, win second balls. I mean, he was just amazing. I watched our center backs cover for each other and be where they're supposed to be and not get caught out. And I saw my goalkeeper do amazing things. I mean, like he's just great. But possession, they end up having 72% primarily because, that's just what they do. They dominate possession, but we didn't seem out of place. Every time we got the ball, we did something amazing with it. Fouls, we fouled a lot. Yellow cards, 3, 1 yellow card. I mean, 1 red card and, 2 yellow cards, which is, I can't even remember when Man City got theirs because they probably went, I don't know, 65 minutes without getting any cards. 75 minutes without getting any cards. It was just such an offsided, so I don't want to make it about the refs. Don't want to do that. I don't want to make it about the refs. The only thing that I will say, and I'm moving on from this, is the first, like the Martin Odegaard penalty shout. Looking at it again and looking at it, if I saw it, that means that VAR had to see it. It looks like Ederson came in contact with Odegaard's foot, and then Odegaard kicked the ball out. And I understand why, upon initial inspection, you would think that, like, oh, you see the ball kind of dart off to the right really fast. So you kind of assume that, like, that was Ederson making contact with the ball. Therefore, most times that's not really given as a pin. But upon looking at it, you see that Ederson makes contact with Odegaard's foot. Odegaard's foot hit the ball. That's what causes the sort of right angle, the 90-degree turn that the ball did. And if I can see that, why can't VAR see that? They have live, like they sort of have, like they have technology. I'm looking at it on TV. They have computers, they have monitors, they have Zoom capabilities, they have all these things. But that's the only thing I'll say. I think they messed that up. I can see why they wouldn't want to give it, but then you turn around and give Granit Xhaka his foul, in which I thought was a foul too. I thought they were both penalties. I think if you're going to the letter of the law, I think they're both penalties and they both should have been given, even though Bernardo Silva kind of dived. There was contact, and then upon review, you see Granit Xhaka, pulling his shirt. So I'm jumping off of that. I'm going off of, I really just want to go. I'm really just going to touch on those 2 minutes, 2 seconds, but I'm really not going to blame the refs. You shouldn't be doing that. And so I'm just going to touch on the behavior of our players. So let's go to, and what I'll do is I'll take a screenshot of this, throw it up, and as I'm talking about this, I'll put it like in the corner, maybe over here or something like that, as I'm going through these player ratings. So let's start from the back. And again, the way that I do my player ratings, I don't like to base my player ratings on just one game. I kind of have an evolution, meaning that, what you've done in the past is your player rating today is based on what you did today, but it takes into consideration what you've done up to this. So let's start from the back. Aaron Ramsdale hasn't done anything wrong, hasn't made any mistakes. Great passing out from the back. He put a couple passes right on Martinelli's toe. And to credit to Martinelli, he brought him down perfectly, and tried to do the same thing for Saka, and then succeeded sometimes. Sometimes he didn't, but didn't do anything wrong. Did get caught in kind of two minds when Sterling's cross came in, but ended up being a miss, so it didn't really end up hurting us. I mean, I don't think he thought that Sterling was going to put a cross in from there, so it did kind of catch him kind of flat-footed, but it didn't end up doing anything. So because they didn't score from it. And the header from, I think, Ruben Diaz wasn't even on target. So it wasn't like it was a scare to hit the post or something like that. So I don't really want to count that against him. I think that he has been in the top 3 best players for our team this season. And he's been in the 8.5 range for me. I don't think that he made any amazing stops, but he did put in some money balls. So I'm not going to change, his sort of rating. I'm just going to keep it where it is. He's been at 8.5, and I'm going to keep him in that zone. Tomiyasu, Tommy, did you have COVID? Are you sure? You sure it wasn't like a 24-hour flu or some of the other stuff that we used to call? Man, I shouldn't say that C word, but it's gonna be the last time I say that. Yeah. Were you really ill? Did you just need a day off? Because you walked right back into the team and you were amazing. And wow. I mean, and what a game to walk back into. And so that to me tells me everything I need to know about his character. Right? So you miss a week, and then you walk back into one of the biggest games that we're going to have all year, right? Against the best club that we're going to play all year at home. And you do this. I mean, you keep Sterling. I mean, he is empty out your pockets. He's there. I mean, he did. I mean, helping Ben White out, helping keeping Kevin De Bruyne quiet. I mean, he was just immense. He's just immense, and he's just a presence. We just don't have to worry. Sterling's pretty quick, and he's learning his positioning a little bit better. He's better going forward. I know people want him to go forward more, but I care more about I care more about defensively. I care more about not leaking goals than him putting in assists. Do I want him doing it every now and then? Does he have to do it as much as Tyranny? No, but I don't think Tyranny needs to do it as much as Tyranny, because I think that when you do go forward, it's such a surprise. It's like, oh, this is the time he's gonna go, but you get caught flat-footed, which is what happened with Tyranny. And for the past few games, remember the dime that Odegaard hit him with last week. So he is amazing. He's been amazing, bar maybe one game I can think of. And I think, again, like Ramsdale, he has been in that, 8.5 zone. I don't have any reason to. Again, he was an amazing player. He was an amazing game. I don't have any reason to change that. So I'm going to keep him in that 8.5 zone. Moving over to Ben White. I know it's been sort of chic to say that he has been the weak link of the back four, but I think that he has been, because of his interceptions. I just think that you have to look at people's positives. He intercepts the ball out of midfield a lot, and he is the catalyst. I know that word has been thrown around a lot. The catalyst of a lot of these amazing chain together passing goals that we've hit recently. He has been the person that's been starting off. So a lot of times it's been Martinelli, but a lot of times when it comes from the back, a quick interception and getting the ball to Odegaard, that's been Ben White doing that, not Gabriel. Gabriel has been more of the defensive brick wall that we've always needed, but the quick intercepting and passing defender that we've needed has been Ben White out of the pair. And today, he had his hands full, and they had to play as a unit, and they absolutely did. The goal that we got from Saka, that whole thing started off from Ben White getting an interception. And the goals that they scored, it didn't really have anything to do with him. And I think that the past couple of games, he's been on the ascendancy. I know I probably put him somewhere in a 6.5 area, but I'm going to move him up to a 7.5 area. I think he's been steadily improving, and that's what I want to see. I would love for him to get a goal, but can't help, he has to put himself in a good position. He has to capitalize on those chances. Hasn't really gotten the chance to do that, but has done the things. You can start to see why they invested in him. A lot of times, either somebody's the finished product or they're an investment. And all you want to see, if you're 23 years old, you pay 50 mil for him, you want him to do a job, you look at him as an investment. And to me, I think we're starting to see those returns. I'm starting to see that as a 4 or as a 5, if you count Ramsdale, they're amazing. So I'm going to give him a 7.5. Gabriel, my guy, the person that I want to be captain of this football team. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to go over the top with this. I'll just say, in terms of you being captain, I think you set yourself back. You set yourself back with that, because I just showed a little bit of maturity, immaturity. You can't do that. You can't. The whole thing where you're stamping out the penalty spot and stuff like that. No, you can't do that. You can't. And yeah, you're young, but you're not that young. You didn't just start playing football. You can't do that, right? And then you got to read the refs, just like you read the game and you see how things are going on. You see what you can do. You can get away with what you can't. You got to read the refs. And you see how it was going. You see how we weren't getting any calls. You see how they were hacking us and not getting yellows or anything like that. And for you to, I understand why you were mad, right? You're probably upset because you just saw the cheap penalty that was awarded to Bernardo Silva and to Man City, and you were pissed off about that. That's why you started doing the whole stomping the penalty spot thing. And then once they bury it, they're celebrating, they're cheering, you're even madder. And then all of a sudden you do this thing with Gabriel Jesus, who's another person who's always trying to go to ground. He had tried to go to ground before in the first half, right? And the ref had told him to get up. And it's so weird that, like, when you look at the Bernardo Silva play with Granit Xhaka, when he went down, you could see the ref like waving him to get up, get up, get on with the game, right? So he didn't think it was a pin, right? But I digress. You were upset about it, but you could see Lacazette, you could see Ramsdale, you can see Kieran Tierney trying to keep these guys calm, and they just couldn't do it. He was so angry about that because he really is taking the game serious, and I applaud that. But you have to be able to keep your emotions in check. So to me, Gabriel has been the best player this season, and I had him playing at like a 9. But because of the kind of immature behavior, I got to bring him down. I mean, I think in the first half he was at a 9. Didn't he's been a 9 all season, 8.5, 9. But because you dropped, you basically in that second half, you dropped like a 4 or 3. So and what you also did is you're going to be suspended the next game, right? So that's 2 games. So that's going to be a game, a half of a game, or almost a half of a game, a quarter of a game, if you will, where you played like a 3 to a 0, and then you're going to get a 0 because you're not available for the next game. So I'm going to bring him down to a 5 overall because you can't get sent off. You can't. If you get sent off because you slide in, you didn't mean to, you kind of got hot, caught somebody high or something like that. I completely understand that happens, right? As a defender, you're aggressive. That's the way I want you to play. Things like that are going to happen, right? But what you did, and both of them could have been on. I saw some people saying, "Well, hey, give him a warning," and I respect that. I respect that. But nothing leading up to that point made me think that that would happen. I think it was a different ref, different circumstances. People who say that are absolutely right. But you have to read the game. And in that game, there was no warnings going to be given. He couldn't wait. Right? I saw it, you saw it. So again, Gabriel 5. And that's going to be his, you've cost yourself 2 games. You cost us probably the biggest upset of the season. And then you've also, put our cup chances kind of in the blender. I mean, you weren't going to start anyway, but I don't know. I got to see what game he's actually going to miss, but we'll see. Moving on, Kieran Tierney. Again, since he's come back in for Tavares, hasn't missed a beat, defending extremely well, putting in crosses for assists, scoring goals. I mean, doing his thing. I think he played well. I think he was part of that back four that was amazing in that first half. That's been amazing on this run of games, and wasn't really at fault for the goals or the penalty or anything like that cost us this game. So I can't really hold him accountable for that. So he has been in the 7.5 range. I think that he has pulled himself up. I would say 8. He's between a 7.5 and an 8. He's been really consistent, which is what I like. So I think I'm going to leave him at 8 for now. And again, it's globally, think what you want. These are my ratings. If you want to leave your comments in the comment section, feel free to do so. I love to engage with you. If you watch this because you're my friends on Twitter, DM me and let me know what you think. Let's move to the midfield. Thomas Partey. Listen, I said it on Twitter, like, this guy, who is this? Who is this? I mean, a couple games ago, we were talking about Granit Xhaka outplaying Thomas Partey. We were talking about maybe Maitland-Niles should come in for him, or Sambi should come in for him and play with Xhaka. That's what we were saying, right? I'm a big fan of Curtis Shaw's show, and in that show they talk about when they have so many people comment and they put on slow mode for the live streams, and they were calling it Thomas Partey mode in the chat, right? That's how much that's he gave himself a 4 for his time at the Emirates so far, and then he comes and I don't know. I mean, maybe he got some good Christmas gifts. I don't know what has been going on with him, but today against top opposition, I mean, you feel like we got our money's worth. We've gotten our return on investment. This is what we bought him for games like this. Not me. Yes, I want you to put. I want all the smoke on the Norwiches and the Watfords of the world and West Broms and all that sort of thing. Right. But for these games, we bought you so that we could have a game like this. And we had the game like this. To me, he was the man of the match for us. To me, everything that was good today was because he kept things going. He broke up play. He dropped dimes. He nutmegging. And I mean, his footwork, his strength, his passing, his interceptions, just defensive acumen, his offensive acumen, just amazing all the way around. And so it was just great. So I haven't seen him play that well. He's been in that 6.5, closer to a 6. He has played better over the course of the past 4 games. But this performance for me took it to a whole nother level. I think that he was probably, if you're just basing it on the day, he was probably an 8.5, just based on today. So I'm going to bring him up to a 7.5. I'm not going to put him in an 8. I need to see, against Liverpool, I need to see what you do. And that's if, I know Klopp's not going to be there because of, and so, and I know some other players aren't going to be there because of, and so I don't know if they're going to fully rotate, but we need to win. So and I don't know if he's going to leave before that for the AFCON, but if he's there, he should play. If this is his last game before AFCON, thank you so much. And we will see you at the end of January, but please come back and play like that. So 7.5. Granit Xhaka. Disclosure, I am not the biggest Granit Xhaka fan in the world. Full disclosure. And I've seen a lot of debate about this guy. I was, and again, gonna be open and honest. When he was being linked with Roma, I was one of the people that was saying, "Hey, thank you for your service, but it's time to say goodbye." I appreciate the things he has done. I appreciate the leadership that he apparently brings into to the clubhouse and all those sorts of things. But I just think that in terms of a striker and in terms of that partner for Partey, I think those are the 2 spots that we need to upgrade if we're going to take this Project 23, this whatever you want to call it, up to the next level. I think his spot, and then that Lacazette used to be Aubameyang. I don't know what's going to happen with that. That position both of those need to be upgraded in order for us, based on the energy that I saw today. If we had a better partner for Partey and a better striker, there's no doubt we could probably take on Chelsea for that 3rd spot. Are we better than Liverpool and Man City? You look at today, you don't know. But over the course of a season, that's a totally different story. That's where they're the best because, over the course of the season, they putting it on everybody, right? We're kind of still kind of up and down with it. So I don't want to say we're one of those guys, but on our day with a better partner for Partey and a better striker, we're doing some things. But to be fair to Granit, over the past few games, he has been the better midfielder. He has been the best midfielder. Putting Martinelli through, for his amazing goal down the middle. keeping the ball going, playing more advanced and not being shook. He has played well. He has played like a 7 the past couple days, right? But we all know, right? And I'm not trying to just bring up the past and things like that, but like I said with my player ratings, I do things on a global basis. And if you do things on an evolutionary global basis, you understand that every now and then, far too frequently, he's going to do what he did today. Right? I didn't mind him doing what he was doing. If they would have called that penalty a penalty and he wasn't grabbing Bernardo Silva's shirt, then I would have said, okay. Like, okay, refs, come on, y'all. Come on. Right? But when you give them an opportunity to go to VAR and they say, wow, he's pulling his shirt, even though he's already down, I don't know how you don't see that. Right? It's a definite dive, just like he tried to do before that. He tried to dive before that, and the ref told him quit playing. But they should have given him a card for simulation, but they didn't. Seems like that's kind of gone away. I don't know if they're still doing that, but a lot of people are diving. Him and Jesus are and Sterling sometimes too are guilty of that a lot. But I would say that up until that point, Granit Xhaka for the past 3-4 games has been pretty good. He's been top tier Granit Xhaka. It's like if you talk about El Nini, if El Nini hits one of his worldies that he likes to hit every now and then, and you're like, wow, El Nini had a good game, you have to come with a caveat of, well, yeah, but it's El Nini still. Not slight against him, but we've watched you play for a long time. And we know your ceiling. Your ceiling is here. And that's how I kind of feel about Granit Xhaka. But Granit Xhaka's kind of played out of his skin the past couple games. Right. And he was playing well this game. Right. No issues. And then all of a sudden he does a Granit Xhaka thing. And some people have said reputation and this and that. But if you understand that, understand that you are part of your reputation. Right? Some people say that like that's all you have is your reputation, your sort of character and this and that, right? And then if you look at VAR, you've given them a reason to overturn it. You've given them that reason because if you weren't doing anything and your hands are up and he's just kind of like looking at your leg like I'm going to dive all over that thing, right? Then that's a different story. But when they see you pulling in a position when you didn't have to, then they're going to say, "Oh, it's him. He's definitely did that on purpose." Let me go ahead and give that pin. And he looked at it for a second, saw that hand. You can see that's all they probably was in his ear like, "Hey, look, he's pulling the shirt. Go take a look at it. See if you want to reverse that. I think you should because he's definitely pulling him." And he goes and looks real quick. Oh yeah. Yes, pin. Right? And then that chain reaction sets off Gabriel. He's super pissed about that. And then, and that's part of that 2 minutes, 2 seconds that I talked about at the top, where, we kind of lose our heads for a moment. And so, like I said, he's been playing the 7, but again, this whole thing starts because you don't keep it together. You were out there. You're one of the most experienced. I'm looking at the starting 11 right now. You are the most experienced player on the club. I mean, on that, you and Lacazette are the most experienced players on the pitch at that time. So you should know better. You've played Man City. You know they like to dive. You got sent off the last time we played Man City. So you more than anyone should know the reasons. Part of the reasons that you have the issues you have with the fans are because Man City. So you would think that they would tell you, yo, chill. I ain't gonna pull him. He got me a little bit, but I ain't gonna pull him because if I do, they're gonna call. He's gonna dive and they're gonna call a foul on me. Don't do it. Right? So you've cost us the game. You cost us our momentum. And so I think that you created the chain reaction. Again, you were playing at a 7. You've created a chain reaction. So I'm dropping you down to 4. 4. Moving on. Front 4. Let's start with Martinelli. Martinelli's been amazing. I mean, had Cancelo fighting for his life. I mean, had Cancelo looking like a rookie, right? That's what Martinelli does to players. I mean, that's what Martinelli does. He makes you look like you're fighting for your life. All of a sudden, you found yourself fighting for your football life when you play that kid because he is going at you 100%. I mean, to have him on one side and have Saka on the other side, have Martinelli, I mean, have Odegaard and Smith Rowe down the middle or wherever, they're all over the place, all over folks. I mean, it's got to be just pure hell for defenders. But I got a bone to pick, right? You put some. I mean, wow. I mean, you put some amazing shots. If you would have hit that, and I posted it on Twitter, like if Martinelli would have put that goal in, I mean, Martinelli puts that goal in, we're putting some nails in some coffins. I'm not kidding. I mean, man, right? But the easiest one, those were tough. All of the shots that he put in were tough shots, right? Tough angles, tough this. You get right in front of goal, right? And then what happens? Right? I was a lot more upset about it when I saw it at the time live. And I'm like, how can you miss a sitter? You're doing a bummying things. You're missing sitters, right? And then when I looked at it, the ref's in the way. He had a direct line of sight to the goal. The ref's in the way. He has to then veer to his left to go around the ref. That puts him at a weird angle, and he blasts the ball. Because, he's taking like a millisecond off. That gives the keeper a millisecond to get himself in a little bit better position. He thinks he needs to do more. He messes up the chance. Right? Yeah, do I think he should be burying it low? Because Ake is in goal already. So if he gets to it, he's already inside the goal. So he's not gonna stop it. You put it low, you put it low, then you're good. But he didn't. And so, but he's a kid. He's not this time next year. He keeps going down the road that he's doing right now. He's not doing that. He's gonna bury it. He has played at a 7.5, 8 level. I'm not gonna change it. He's been 7.5, 8. Well, I know he missed a sitter, right? But how many players on this team have missed sitters? I'm not, and he has been amazing. I'm just not, and the ref was in the way. A lot of circumstances. I know he needs to do better there. But he was amazing. So I'm not gonna dock him for that. Other side, Bukayo Saka. What did we say? Right? And I know Detroit Goonerette, I know you're gonna get me because you say this all the time. I am a Pepe stan. I am. I love Pepe. I love everything about his game, right? Except the fact that he doesn't do the things that Saka does. And I'm not going to go into a rant about that. If you watch any of my videos, I have this thing where I go into Pepe rants and things like that because I'm a Pepe stan. Right? But what do we say? What was Pepe Stan's defense? Well, Saka can't score. He can't, he messes up, he fluffs his lines. When it comes right into the box, he always skies it or does something weird. He doesn't finish the chances. Can't say that anymore. This kid has been absolutely burying his chances, scoring goals left and right, putting dudes on toast, experienced defenders, new defenders. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You put him up against him, he's going after you. Nathan Ake, veteran center half. Now, he's playing fullback. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, this is light work for my man. Light work. And he was putting it on him. So scored a beautiful goal. He has been not as good, but lately during this run, he has been money, and he has been an 8.5 player. And he continued on today. Was a little tired, so they subbed him off. Got no issues there. Not his fault. He was a person who got a yellow. Like for what? I mean, this dude was like, you think he was playing spades? He was passing out yellows to everybody on our team. Gabriel, Saka, Granit Xhaka, Rob Holding came right in and got a yellow. Came right in and got a yellow. Right? I mean, he's dealing blackjack out here. with these yellow cards. So I'm not going to change him. Martin Odegaard, another player who, I mean, he, like I said, Thomas Partey has stepped this game up. The past few games, Martin Odegaard. I would say over the past 6-7 games, Martin Odegaard has been the MVP for me. I mean, he has been that instrumental. Everything good that has happened has been because of in terms of scoring, has been because of Martin Odegaard has stepped his game up. He's found a way to get the spots. He has the energy to sort of put himself into the positions to get the ball, his head's up, right? Does he have the zero on the spot, one MOA, sniper passing that Mesut Ozil does? No, but I mean, it's Mesut Ozil. I don't expect him to, right? But does he see players and put it in there? Yes. Yes, he absolutely does. I love his energy. I love his pressing. I love his toughness. Does he need to get in the squat room and on the bench press? Yes, he does. But I will take it, and I love his leadership too. I mean, between him and Gabriel, those are the two players that I want to be captain and vice captain. Gabriel took a significant step back from that for me. So I'm still going with Odegaard for captain. And so I think he stepped up a lot. I think that there was a point in time where he was only like in a 6.5. I think this past couple games, he's definitely stepped up to the 8 range. And I don't have any reason to change that. I don't think he did bad at all today. And so I'm going to leave it in the 8 range. And finally, Lacazette. The one thing that I appreciate about Lacazette, I mean, obviously he's not scoring a lot, did bury the penalty last game. And so in his hold up play, got no issues, has put Odegaard in positions to do his thing. So he has done a lot of hard work, a lot of leadership. The last couple games you've seen what fans want out of a leader. And so the fact that he has the armband, I know people have some issues with that because it's obviously that this is going to be his last year. I don't know if this is going to be his last month, right? Which I would doubt. They're probably going to let him leave on a free just because we don't have anybody up front with the qualities that he has. Balogun's not ready. Eddie's isn't quite at that level. Eddie it plays a little bit different than Lacazette. And so I think that they're not going to let him go. And then Aubameyang, I don't know. So, but I just think athletically, he is just a little bit slow, just a little bit. I mean, I think that like if him and Giroud had a foot race, I don't know who would win. I just don't. I don't know, which sounds weird. Like you would think that Lacazette would beat him easily, but I don't know. I don't know who would win. And so I think if we had somebody a little bit taller, a little bit stronger, a little bit faster up front, I think that we would have crushed Man City today, just based on the way that they looked today. I know they just played a couple games ago. They swapped some players out, but that's when you have to take advantage of the teams like that. When you're at an advantage, right? They're tired. They're this, they're that. They have every excuse in the world to walk one in, and they're not. But you're fresh. That's when you gotta take points. So Lacazette has been okay. I love his leadership. I love everything he's done off the field as well as on it. I think he's played like a 7. I don't think that he did anything wrong today. I think he stepped up in the moments that he needed to, and I'm going to give him a 7.5. So on the year, he's played like a 7.5. Smith Rowe came on. It was his basic self. Kind of ended his streak of not scoring once he got on from on the bench. That stinks. Rob Holding came on. I mean, the goal was kind of like a ping pong thing in the box. A lot of people are blaming him. I don't really agree with that. And he got a yellow, which is strange. And then El Nini. El Nini's El Nini. I don't. He did El Nini stuff. He didn't hurt us, but he didn't help either. So El Nini's El Nini. So that's the player ratings. That's where we are. We remain. Let me go back to the where are the standings? Yes. So we're still in fourth. 35 points. We're a point above West Ham won. They won their game. So we are just 1 point ahead of them. And their goal differential is actually higher than ours. So we need to keep winning. Right? We're fourth. We are now 6 points behind Liverpool, who are third, who, we'll run into here pretty quickly. And then, so between, Man City's way up there. They're almost 20 points ahead of us. But that's it for the player ratings. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do me a favor, like and subscribe. I would really appreciate I really want to build this in 2022 through guests, through a community of Gooners. I come in and touch base on other people's platforms when I watch other videos like the Highbury Squad, Curtis Shaw. I watch a lot of different people's things just to get different takes on what people think. I probably put my videos out the latest, besides probably Hugh Wizzy doing his late night fraudulence type of things. But it's late where I'm on the East Coast of the US. So yeah, just do me a favor. Let me see if is it here? Yes, it's on my board. Yeah. So if you do me a favor, follow me on Twitter. It's up there. And if you want to check out another video, it's right over there. Check it out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm Anton Keith. This is the Ghost of Highbury. I'll see you in the next one. Happy New Year.